up, guys? We lost a true legend, man. We've lost several this last few days. Of course, I know you've heard by now, we lost Gary Rossington, the last surviving member of the original Lynyrd Skynyrd band, you know, and I grew up listening to those guys, Steve Gaines and Ed King, Rossington. All them guys are a lot of the reason why I play guitar today, you know, and I lean more towards Ed King and Steve Gaines' style because I really like that kind of style too, but I loved Rossington's style. He's a great slide player, great songwriter. A lot of people don't realize that about Gary, but he came up with the part of the riff to Sweet Home with Ed King, you know, and Simple Man. Mom actually told him that story, and that's how they wrote that song. I came up with the music, and of course Ronnie came up with the lyric. But of course we lost Michael Rhodes. If you guys don't know who Michael Rhodes is or was, he was a bass player that was just unbelievable. He played on every hit record out of Nashville in the '90s, early '90s, and with Brent Mason and all them guys. He was the bass player in that crew called the A-Team. And he toured with everybody. He was recently on tour with Joe Bonamassa, yeah, we lost him. It's just amazing. I think he was like 69 years old, 68, still pretty young. And Rossington, I'm not sure his age. I think he was around 71, maybe 72, somewhere in that area right there. Still pretty young. And then we lost, Lindley, and I mean, all of his great work with, Jackson Brown. I mean, these guys are icons in the music world, players. Sad day. I remember getting the Street Survivors record. Y'all remember that record where they were standing in the flames, you know, and then after the plane crash, the record label pulled all that stuff, MCA pulled all that stuff, and then it was just a black jacket, you know, vinyl cover. But I actually had the one with them in the flames, man. I used to go to town on that record, you know, with Ed King or Steve Gaines. I'm sorry, Steve Gaines was on that record, not Ed King, but I know a little, you know, Steve Gaines, Honky Tonk Nighttime Man, an old Haggard song that they did, and that's Steve Gaines playing the down. You know that. It's been a while since I played that. But all that stuff, man, I grew up, I used to know that stuff note for note. I tore up that record. I mean, I literally played everything on that record and tried to learn, you know, from those guys. It's the same way I did with Jerry Reed. You guys know I'm a big Jerry Reed freak. And back in those days, but that's the time frame I was learning. That's how long I've been playing, because that was the time frame that I was really learning to play guitar, really working on stuff and trying to figure it out. Was that Street Survivors record. Then once I got turned on that record, then I started going back to Skynyrd all through their catalog. I can't say that word enough. Catalog, and listen to all their stuff. And same thing with Jerry Reed, man. I loved Reed. And we lost him several years ago, and he was my hero, man. But we're losing all the great ones out there. There's, we've got great players out here, young kids and young guys that are playing. But man, the older guys seemed like they had a different soul, different feel to how they played. They played from down somewhere that a lot of guys don't know how to get to. They played from way down inside their heart, and from their heart and down, way deep. Jeff Beck, another one. Golly, Jeff Beck. Gone. Just monster players, and thank God we still got Clapton, and a lot of the older guys are, we still got quite a few of the older guys, but it's just amazing that we're losing all these guys. And it's hard to believe that really the original members of Skynyrd are all gone, pretty much. Artemis Powell, a lot of people consider him an original member. He wasn't an original member. Bob Burns was the original drummer. But then when Bob was starting having all of his problems, that's when they brought Artemis in. But Artemis was with them in the majority of the time. I mean, I think Artemis might have joined the band in, what, 72, 73 time frame, maybe? I can't really remember exactly the time, but it was in 72, 73, 74, somewhere along in there. And we actually did some shows with Artemis a few years ago, the Artemis Powell Band. And they are the closest thing. If you get a chance to go see them, guys, go see them. They're the closest thing to the real Skynyrd that you could ever hear, in my opinion. I mean, I heard them guys. We did our show, opened up for them. They come out, did theirs, and I was waiting for Ronnie Van Zant to walk out on stage. They were that good. So if you get a chance to go see Artemis, in the Artemis Powell Band, go check them out on YouTube. Go check out their website. They're touring. And I'm sure he's having a hard time with all this, with the whole Rossington thing, passing and the Skynyrd and the whole deal of that. It's got to be tough. But we're losing all of our legends, man, and Ronnie Van Zant and Gary Rossington and Steve Gaines and Ed King, all them guys in the Skynyrd, man, they were just monster players. Billy Powell on keys and all the guys, they were just all great, fantastic band, fantastic style. Fantastic songwriting. They had hit song after hit song. If they hadn't got killed in the plane crash, I wonder where they would be at today, the music we would have had, Same thing with Jeff Beck. I mean, it's hard to believe Jeff Beck's a monster guitar player, monster player. Of course, he lived a long life, but still, it's hard to believe he's gone. And Michael Rhodes, losing Michael Rhodes, he was great. Phenomenal bass player. And Jackson Brown, Lynyrd, who was a monster slide player and all that stuff. It's just a sad day in the music world. And I just want to say I'm really sorry to the Lynyrd Skynyrd family and the fans and Dale, his wife, and the kids, and all of them are really sorry. But he left behind a lot of music, a lot of great music, and a legacy, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I want to thank him for carrying on the name. Even after the plane crash, they still came out and his brother Johnny singing, stepping up, Ronnie's brother, and doing I call it the tribute band kind of a thing, but they were a great show too. I've seen them too. And anyway, thank you guys for watching, and thanks for subscribing and all that good, cool stuff. I just want to hop on here and talk about Ronnie for a minute. And Michael Rhodes, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He played with everybody, toured with everybody, and played on all the records out of Nashville, man. He was the guy for years. God bless you, Gary. Thanks for the music, brother. Later on.